All right. This is Eric.
And this is Elaine.
Your country boy.
And your city girl.
Of ericandelaine.com.
But yes, today, so we are, of course, excited because we do have, again, some special guests that you're familiar with, right? Our country babies.
Country city babies.
Country city babies, there we go. But let's talk today about 5 ways to deal with toxic family relationships.
Yes.
Right?
So
because why, Eric? Why is that important?
Because right now we're going into the holidays. We're going into the holidays, and we want to dispel some myths about unconditional love and healthy boundaries in relationships. All right, listen, again, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Elaine and I do all things relationships. This channel, it deals with family relationships, healthy relationships, intimate relationships, and so on and so forth. So if you're into that type of thing and you want to learn more about these 5 tips, hang around. And we're back. All right. So 5 ways to deal with toxic family and friends during the holidays.
That part, during the holidays, because we know that this is the time of the year when there's a lot going on, right, regarding families, right? We're getting together, we're having meals and so on and so forth. But sometimes we run into situations that are not the best. Right.
Well, we got a lot to argue over these days. We have those who are for Kyrie, those who are against Kyrie. We have all of these different, situations and scenarios that are out here for us to disagree on.
Who did you vote for?
Yeah. Who did you vote for? We just had yes.
Yeah.
We just had that. And besides, going through the pandemic, a lot of people broke ties with a lot of families because some, did and some didn't. So, maybe this year everybody's coming together and there's some things that are going, that can prove themselves to be a little touchy. All right. So that being said, I will say this just to start out as far as unconditional love and so on and so forth. Unconditional love is a myth. Let me say that again for the people in the back. And the folks who are in, all my church folk who been told that
I was one.
God is a God of love and he loves everyone. He loves unconditionally.
Yeah.
And that is someone who is not reading their Bible. Because the Messiah said himself, I'm not going to even go to the Old Testament because I know a lot of people don't even read the Old Testament. But the Messiah said himself, what did he say?
There's multiple.
If you love me.
There's multiple.
He did. Yeah, you're right. Forgive me. He said a bunch of stuff.
Right. Fulfill it, not abolish the law. I'm thinking.
Right. Okay. Yes, he said that. If you love me, you keep my commandments.
Doesn't that sound like condition?
That sounds like condition. He's going to tell you, some people are going to say, oh, Lord, I did this in your name. I did that in your name. And he's going to say,
I never knew you. Depart from me.
Knew.
You work iniquity.
Come on, we in that book.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just to put some context in this, that was some things that the young ladies, we got the crew, we got most of the crew, we got 2/3 of the crew, right? I won't even try to do the number thing, but anyway, 5 things that we can share with the people. Matter of fact, first do your open,
Introduce yourself.
What you want to say? What is it that you would like to share regarding this, real quick?
I guess I will definitely say, guarding your heart is not always negative. Guarding your heart can be you keeping your heart posture in the right place. Because when, coming across, family members that try to provoke you, making sure that you keep your posture where, you can respect people, but not allowing yourself to sin in the process of resenting that family member.
That's good.
Okay, well, I know where I stand, so good to see you. And then keep it pushing, and creating those that healthy barrier for yourself is definitely imperative. Because you're your longest commitment.
Right.
So
barrier or boundary?
Like that.
Right. Definitely boundary.
Okay, boundary.
Yeah.
Not so much a barrier.
Right.
Because you can go, you can approach me.
Right.
Okay. We can get a, we can talk. We gonna see each other. I'm gonna love on you.
Because that's I'm not going to allow you to not allow myself to be who I am naturally. Right. I'm going to be. Yeah.
I'm gonna love on you and everything.
I think that goes perfectly as to what I was going to say, which I'll explain a little bit now. I don't know. But knowing that you can still love someone and disagree. I feel like that's something that we have lost so much.
Yeah.
In times now. So I feel like understanding that there are times where you're not gonna agree with people. I mean, that's marriage. Like, y'all aren't gonna agree on everything. And
Really?
Uh-oh. Shots fired.
Never gonna
That's right.
someone 100% on everything 100%
That's right.
of the time. And you can still love.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
I think for myself, and I'm quite sure other people can agree, that it's not a thing where let me start that off by saying this. We tend to think that when somebody does something wrong to us or something that we don't agree with, that they are bad people, and that's not necessarily the case. We've got to consider also, we live in a world where toxicity thrives. So it would be terrible for us to not even do our own self-reflecting in this time and question what habits have I picked up, and be able to give that grace to other people and understand they've got to grow as well too. It all starts with self-reflection.
Absolutely.
So we can't be in a toxic environment and not think that we're not toxic or we haven't developed some traits ourselves.
I like that.
Oh, we hadn't contributed to the toxicity.
Exactly.
So that's personal responsibility.
Right.
Self-awareness.
Passively involved in it, or assertively involved in it.
Exactly.
Where you are the aggressor or you are the perpetrator in the situation. Because we have a lot, especially time in family, that's some things we just don't talk about. Oh, we got that one family member that's just how they are. No, it's not just how they are.
Right.
We have the ability to address in love and set those boundaries so that we say it all the time. You teach people how to treat you.
And some people don't like that word or that phrase.
Or even saying that you train people how to treat you. We had somebody just fall out because we said train. Yeah, you training folks.
I mean, whenever you have any type of dealings with anybody, whether it's the clerk at the bank or the store, you're interacting with someone, right? And you're also at the same time teaching them how to treat you, especially in our relationships where our family of origin or our, nuclear relationships, right? We're always, training each other. My daughters are really good at keeping me in line, because now that they're older, it's a new way that we're having to, dance with each other, right? The relationship is different. And so, I'm not, I can't be like it just because I said so, right? But out of respect. And I think that's one of the key words is respect is required, no matter who you are.
No matter who you are.
Yeah.
Hands down. I mean, the book talks about that. A lot of things in the scriptures that share, regarding how we are to deal with one another. And I think one of the ways that we've caused each other to stumble is by this notion of unconditional love. And it's basically where you can treat me however, and you just grant grace.
Yeah.
And that is not granting grace, because we have family members that are struggling with some of the things that you said years ago.
Yeah.
And it's controlling their decisions, it's controlling their thought process. And I'll use myself. My pops told me one time, things were getting a little tough when the economy took a downturn in the 1980s. And he was like,
You better.
he said, Montron, you don't want no notes. And he was talking about car notes. And for those of you who know me, I drove a 78 Cutlass Supreme for a pretty good little while. Matter of fact, that car went through the entire family, all my siblings. We all owned that car.
And into your what?
Into my marriage and everything. So, yes, rest in peace. Yeah, my brother-in-law took her out. But anyway, it was because of that one thing that he said. It called, and he didn't have to say it twice. That was just in me, and I didn't realize I was paying a note for that, for just that thing that he was saying, that I continued to make payments on this raggedy car when I could have been making payments on a new car. But anyway,
but you get
so you have those things that come, the things that are being said, and folks are dealing with those things years later.
Yeah, and we get trapped in those type of scenarios where somebody says one thing to us, whether it's oh, you're too skinny, oh girl, you big as a house, right? You get caught in those things, and they ring in your mind, in your psyche for years. And so I think that we have to be clear and concise in our relationships during this time of the year, where we're creating those boundaries, and that means physical boundaries,
personal boundaries,
emotional boundaries. I mean, it's the boundaries of the heart, right, which deals with how you make me feel, and so what we want to definitely do is to be able to create that space where you can decide whether or not who you are even entertaining during this time. And sometimes you literally have to unplug from people. And or that may include, and you may have to unplug or press pause because everything right now is about, of course, mental health. And so does that include our family?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's like understanding and when to apply boundaries and giving that person the time to do better is where grace starts and ends.
That's true.
Like you'll set a boundary, and as soon as they mess up, it's like, oh no, you gotta go.
Right.
And that's where I feel like you more so weaponize your boundary than you do, actually allowing the person time to fix their mistakes. In any situation where you've done something wrong or you've done something, and someone addresses you, a lot of the times you're not fixing it right away. A lot of the times you aren't, perfect overnight. Like, that it takes a person the time to learn that, and just like you're going through your own learning stage of learning yourself, they're learning you and your new boundaries and themselves as well. So it's like, that's where, the grace is applied, not saying that you just let people do whatever, but you definitely allow them time to adjust.
Because I will say this, because one of the things that I felt regarding the boundaries, there is a boundary that I have. You're not going to allow me.
Okay.
You don't gain access. Hey, I see you. When I see you, I love you.
That part.
I'm going to embrace you, but you don't have access to me.
Yeah.
You don't have access to the inner circle. I'm sorry. If you misrepresent and you literally lie on me.
Deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
Yeah, that's some deal breakers. So I believe one of the first things that what I hear everybody's talking about is developing boundaries, understanding yourself, choosing yourself first.
Absolutely.
choosing you, right? You choose you, and it's not a selfish thing. And it's not that people got to jump through hoops. Because, matter of fact, some of the people in the recent past that I had to recognize, let them determine the relationship. Let them determine the relationship. But if they needed me, I'm right there. Hands down, I'm right there.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna lie. I'm not giving you access. You're not gonna know my moves. You're not gonna. I'm not calling you for prayer. That's why I say all the time. People wonder why I don't put things on there about prayer, about different people, and I share with family members. Don't put prayers on a request for prayers, because all prayers ain't good prayers.
Yeah.
You don't want to open yourself.
Spelling might be different.
Yeah.
P-R-A-Y.
That's right. They praying rather than praying. Right? That English language is a motor scooter, ain't it? All right. So, but you pay attention to how you offer love also. You pay attention to how you're offering, how you show up to, I hear that, how you show up in the relationship, and you grant grace and allowing folks to learn the new you, because truth be told, in any relationship, you're learning each other, because everybody should be evolved, should be growing.
That's it. Yes. None of us, will remain the same. As I was saying about my daughters, right? And understanding that they're at a new place, right? They're at a new, all of us are in a new season. And so we have to respect that, right? So understand that everybody's changing. Everybody should be evolving. If not, there's something wrong.
Right.
And so if you are, in the space that we are, hey, give each other that time, that grace, and even that space.
Don't. It's not a matter of hate or just because we disagree. You sided with Biden. You sided with the Republicans. You sided with Kyrie and Kanye, and you didn't side with Kyrie and Kanye, and all of that. We, in recognizing, for those of you who espouse the scriptures in the Bible, you're going to have to deal with that. It's going to be dealt with later. Yes, ma'am.
You side with the men. You side with the women. You feel like women are the prize, or you feel like men are the prize.
Oh, yes.
You feel like women have it worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Have it worse so bad, bro. Struggle so bad.
Yeah.
I would love to receive something peacefully without having to fight.
Right.
Yeah. And especially in our relationship, and we're not afforded the ability to be that divisive. And in the time like this, with the shootings, and I won't get all into that, but we need to, as a group of people, need to come together and whatever these little differences are, get over them and still relate. Because you can love somebody even though you disagree, whether disagree on doctrine, disagree on whatever.
You can certainly on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're just a yes man at that point.
Yeah.
Right. You don't add diversity.
Exactly.
All right. So go ahead.
Be clear that we're not anti-family.
No.
We're just speaking on behalf of the growth. The growth process that happens in families. So during the holidays, there's so much that is emotionally wearing on people, and even unnecessarily. So many people are worried about what gifts they're going to receive, or some if you're single, you're worried about well, I ain't got nobody to go into the family events for Thanksgiving or whatever. If you do if you observe those days or what have you, but you're just getting around family this time of year, and you're wanting to have that status, right? You want for everybody to see and know that you're doing good, and it's emotionally taxing, and we've got to be willing to protect ourselves. And I think that's why having these boundaries and these conversations around boundaries during the holidays that people are reverencing it's key.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that's something that we should definitely go over in part 2. 'cause-
Yes, yeah, that would be definitely a part 2. We're going to do this because and we're doing this to put this out for Thanksgiving for those of you who observe those holidays. The Yes, yes, so that it's understood. You can go into the relationship self-aware, because number 2, the second tip we want to talk about is the understanding the influence that you have, and that certain people have on you. Just really looking at why is this making me feel this way? You know, uh, uh, because I feel a certain way about a person can actually stunt my growth, because they may be able to share something that I didn't know, because I had that, like you said. That's why I said that about barrier versus boundary. So a barrier is something to hinder something from happening. A boundary is just understood. These are the guidelines by which we function.
Yeah.
Right? Not that the barrier we don't function at all or whatever, but there's something that, because you have this thought process about a person, you can't receive something from that person. That person, maybe even if they're coming to repair, maybe they had an epiphany.
Yeah.
Maybe the father, they were sitting in church and got a epiphany from the preacher, and they realized their ways. Well, they can't make atonement with you because you got the barrier.
Well, see, and just speaking on that was what I was going to go into too, was not allowing your heart to grow cold about it.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy where, it's like, okay, you've done all of these things, and so you have that, and so you're not able to even see them genuinely coming to, show love and, just what they really want to give to you, and so you see it as, that's how they were acting, and it's like, that's coming from an unhealed place, when you could be receiving if you would allow your heart to still be, in a right posture with everybody. That's easier said than done, but it can definitely be done. Yeah.
And it should be all of our efforts.
Absolutely.
Right, to maintain peace with all men, as
That's
the
right.
scripture says, right? And so this is not, again, an attack on differences or anything like that, but it's just being able to say, this is how we can live together, and be around each other or what have you, if necessary. These are the boundaries. These are the like we said, the deal breakers. These are the things that are important to me at this stage in my life. I'm not wanting to be tolerated. I don't like that feeling. I don't like to be in spaces where people are the fake smiles and the no. I'm protecting me, and it's okay for me to be able to look at my own well-being and put me first. I love you, but I love me more.
Yeah, and I don't want you to feel any kind of way. For instance, I don't use profanity, and there's some people who do, and I know that when I'm around, they try not to use profanity, so it's like I'm cramping their style. And I was like, I don't want to be the one that's making somebody else uncomfortable. So let me just chill. I'm good. And when me and you see each other, hey, we can talk, we can catch up. I'm praying for you, hands down. When you come to mine, I'm praying for you. And if I, ELAINE trips on me all the time that if I think on you and I call you, or if I'm in your area and I call you, I'm like, hey, I want to lay some eyes on you. Lay some eyes on you. Is it? No, put away the hands. We not condoning. We not. We talk about healthy boundaries. I know the person has to heal, but we're not trying to inflict the hurting to need the healing. Okay. So, but as the third thing would be, I'm sorry, did you have something, Angel, on that? Okay. The third thing would be open and transparent. Now,
okay, what is that?
Some might think be open and transparent that you just sharing everything. No. No. We talking about transparency in your interaction. when you bringing up the fact that, hey, these are my boundaries. Now, I will say for me, if an infraction is done out in the open, I'm going to bring it out in the open.
Absolutely.
If you feel like you can say something that, I like what you say. You asked a person, did you mean to offend me?
Yeah. Or is that your intent? Are
Yeah.
you trying to hurt my feelings?
And it's right then at that point when
In
the
that
infraction is made.
Right.
that
Not
moment.
waiting.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. Because so many things can fester when when families don't communicate about the necessary things that, hey, you hurt my feelings when you said this, or you just bring it up, and so that it can be dealt with then. But if we don't, and even when you try to have conversations, right? And some people renege on, having simple conversations about, hey, this is what happened, and you saw it from that perspective, but this was what actually I meant, or I meant to say. I didn't, do this. You can clear the air, and you can everybody can live in peace, without having those things to just continue in your mind.
Right, or that tinge in your heart. You hear their name, or you see them come down your timeline.
Yeah.
And we both have to, both parties have to be vulnerable in that moment.
Absolutely.
Too, because it's not easy to hear that you hurt somebody.
Absolutely.
Nor is it easy to be vulnerable and say, hey, that hurt.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be unbothered nowadays. To not unbothered, and it really just
it's a cover up.
Yeah, it's a cover up. It's actually it
more
really
damaging.
It's more damaging, and it also proves an insecurity there too. So getting to the why do I want to be unbothered if I actually am?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can end up really. I know I used to suffer from this myself. Is I'm just gonna let that go or whatever, and then I'll end up being around that person again and again and again, and then I blow up. Because I behaved like I was unbothered the entire time when clearly you were just admit the truth. So that's where the transparency comes into play. Is about that. Hey, I really don't like this. Let's, in order for us to have a good relationship, because I want us to have a good relationship, I want us to remain family, I want us to remain friends. This is what I need. So
Sleep better at night too.
Everybody sleeps better at night, and you have a better relationship, with the Father. I love Matthew 18. ELAINE says I need to do a teaching on that, on the fact that, that person's angel is going along with your angel, because we know that the scripture tells us that we have angels that protect us to keep us from dashing our foot against a stone, right? So they go and they repeat and give report on us, and everything. So I don't want to be in a situation where, I'm causing there to be a negative report from me in the heavens. All right. So, and that, I was just going to say, so to kind of, go back on what you were saying, what was the crux of it was number 4, learn to listen. Take the time to listen. It doesn't hurt anybody, because that's how we grow. If you think about it, when heat is applied, it feels a little hot. When you look at the cycle of relationships, you get to the infraction and you get to the heated part and everything, you go to the talk it out, but then there is the repairing piece. That's when you choose to repair. Now I know where you're at. And if I love you, I'm going to remember. It doesn't mean that I won't trip over that again, but you'll know that me tripping over it is not intentional. But it's when people choose to, folks will choose to leave.
Absolutely.
Folks will choose to not, repair.
And then they choose me.
Right.
And that's okay.
That's right.
Because again, I want you to be healthy.
Right.
I want you to put you, first, and your needs first as well. But we have to be okay with sometimes people, walking out of our lives, like what we said earlier. Hey, and I like that when Angela said, hey, sometimes we have been, the person that's been at fault. We don't like to hear that we've hurt somebody's feelings or that we've, offended someone. Oh my goodness, me of all people, right? But as perfect as I may, appear to be, I too am guilty of, but no, we all are.
Oh, okay.
Don't you?
You wanted a witness?
No,
you don't. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But no, we're all, you're not going to get through life without some type of scars, or even giving some type of scar to someone else, whether it's, intentional or unintentional. But the thing is, what we tell our couples, it is not what is done, it's how you repair. Did you have something else to add to that?
No, I was saying, I was trying to finish what you were saying, but it was what you were saying. So like, okay, be quiet. No, but what y'all were saying was, those are healthy conditions. We're talking about unconditional love. Those are healthy conditions. There's no relationship where you are, able to just do whatever you want and stay there. That is when you are sacrificing your boundaries, thinking that it's noble, and it's not. It does not make you noble to sacrifice your boundaries in the name of empathy. Just because you're empathizing with someone, that does not mean I'm gonna give them my boundaries. No, because if your boo thing was to go and continue to go out and do things with other people that you don't like them to do, they're giving it up. And at that point, it's dead. At that point, your condition is, I don't like when you do that. Stop doing that. That's a condition.
When you want me to.
Yeah.
Girl, go ahead.
I'm just saying, don't like folks. And scripturally, like Papa said, if you love me, you're going to keep my commandments. Commandments, those are conditions. Those are conditions for him to know that you love him. Just for you to know, like for me, I know that someone loves and cares about me, like when you speak someone's love language, like, you want to hang out? Oh my goodness. Yes, not that that's the end all be all, that they definitely love you at that point, but it is a sign that they're giving something, they're trying to work things out with you, they're trying to love you or whatever, but those are still conditions. If your love language is words of affirmation and no one ever gives it to you, and they don't, you let them know, hey, it feels really nice when you compliment me, or when you say nice things to me and you let me know I'm doing good, and they don't give any effort to try and do those things after you shared it with them. That's a condition for you to know that you feel loved, so it's like,
That's right. So when you're talking, when you're dealing, real quick, when you're doing that, you taking the time to learn more and be curious about what's going on with that person, so that you can repair. Go ahead.
And that's something that I think is so imperative, because I keep seeing people say, oh, I just have a giving heart and I just give, and people don't give back to me. And I have been in the season of overcoming people pleasing. And as of lately, I feel like that is so toxic. As much as we want it to sound genuine, that we give and that we, no. If you overgive and you're not receiving anything, I could talk about it for days. But like that, at that point, you see where you stand with that person or those people. Because if you're the only one giving, and if that person is just taking, and you have not received anything, I mean, honestly, it really shows you where... Right. And it shows you where everybody is in your life. You see, okay, are these people that I really need to keep? Because if it's not reciprocal, then what are we doing here? And I just really need people to be okay with letting, I love people and I will give. But if I see that, we're not on the same page, okay, I will withdraw. And then if you want to come back and you want to, again, like you said, if you want to repair, then let's do that. But it has to be where it is reciprocated, where it's mutual. If I'm doing all the work or you're doing all the work, it just shows you really, like I said, and it weeds out a lot of people, a lot of things, where I'm now minimalist because, because you start to see where people really are and how they view you. And like y'all said, train people how to treat you. It's hard sometimes because like,
you don't realize you're training people.
Right. But it's really your actions. Exactly. And then you have to communicate the boundary. That was something else I thought about, which is you have to communicate those things. I know.
Yeah.
Because you can't know.
Yeah, that's number 3. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
So, you know, and I'm glad you went first, because what you said about being a minimalist in relationships, we have to realize too, like, what is my goal for staying in a relationship with somebody that is not meeting my needs, you know, and I'm meeting theirs all the time, right? Is a lot of times I think we tend to, and especially us as women a lot, we tend to do this where if like somebody does something that gets on our nerves or something that we don't like, that we will try to punish that person by
Girl, you telling us.
but you try to punish that person in a way of, I'm just gonna, you know, give silent treatment. Guys do it too, but you know, for sure, I know that's our code. It's like, you know, silent treatment. I'm not gonna talk to them. I'm gonna sit and be in the situation, and I'm going to make my energy, get my energy to be all jacked up because I'm still trying to, like, no, we've got to get to a point where you remove yourself, you decide, I'm going to take this energy where it is deserved. You know, because if we don't do that, we're going to keep this wheel going you know, not providing
a toxic pattern.
And not giving justice to those that need it. And then also, because I feel like speaking on the justice piece, whenever we get into this space of, oh, I'm giving, and nobody's giving back. And there's somebody else that's giving, doing the same thing somewhere else, when all we needed was to be put in the same space
with the person that's
giving. So both of us can give to each other in a healthy relationship. You know,
and everybody flourish.
And honestly, I think that convicts those that aren't doing what they need to do. So we need to create that space.
She was back here whispering some stuff and mumbling, and it was just good too, because it goes along with, you know, she said, you know, you're pouring into broken glass,
Right.
And so, you know, you're just steadily giving and giving, but it's draining you, and even that person is just really not, I mean, they're not even really receiving the fullness because their glass is broken. And you know, we have to even speak to the passive aggressiveness that's in our relationships, you know, with so many times we're in family.
So that's number 5.
I am sorry.
All right. No, you go ahead, because number 5 is talking about understanding the dynamics of your relationship, understanding the control situation, understanding, you know, how are you feeling this power thing that's going on. Go ahead.
I mean, you know, it's just that, like, passive aggressiveness is, I mean, it's in us as people, and we are, you know, I think some of it, at some level, we're all guilty of it at some point. And so, but when there's a stage when you grow out of some things.
Right.
You know, there's a place and a time when you should want to really, to deal with matters, right? Dealing with matters is maturity. Dealing with matters, you know, when they come up,
it's grown.
That's grown. Everybody want to say I'm grown, right. But when we don't act and we just let stuff just happen and we don't say anything, and then we, you know, then we get behind the closed doors, or we get somewhere else with the other, you know, family members or friends or whatever, and then we talk about you know, what did or didn't happen with the person that whoever we have in so-called beef with. It shows so much lack of maturity, lack of, I believe, a relationship with the Father, because there is no way that I can call myself, I am loving the one who I cannot see, the God, the Elohim, we call Yah, whom I can't see, but I can't love the one that I see every day, that I can't love the ones who I have been given as assignment to be, you know, in this time and space with. It's just not making sense. The math ain't what?
Math.
There we go, right? And so, you know, but the passive aggressiveness it's gotta go.
You gotta realize and really reflect and see, are we adapting to the toxicity? Are we conforming to it, assimilating to it, or are we
nature?
Or are we choosing to set a new standard.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And in approaching everything, making sure that we have the right motive, um, is the conflict some unstated needs?
Right.
And sometimes you could share something with somebody, like you talk to somebody in the family about credit. You have some information on money or whatever, and you share it with them, but they take it like, oh, he think I'm broke. He think I don't know how to handle my money.
Oh, he think he better.
Yeah, he think he better than somebody. No, it's not. And if you feel that in the moment, that's why I say notice the dynamics of the control and nip it in the bud right then. Say what needs to be said. Say it then. Say, do you think that I don't have some money?
Part two,
And
we
then
gonna go over how to.
Yes, the
Don't-
emotional
don't-
regulation.
Don't go out there and just be, oh, so you don't like me.
No, that is not what we say. Yes.
Part two said, watching your motive, because there are times, I kid you not, like I said, I'm in the season of overcoming it. People will try you, but you have to watch your heart and make sure you're not just saying something because you want to be tit for tat. No. Are you saying this because you want to like actually effectively communicate and articulate, hey, this is how this made me feel? But if you're doing things because it's so easy, it really is, because you're like, oh, well, this is the first thing I think of. Yeah, well, sometimes you can think that way, but calm down. Mama always taught us, breathe, and then y'all used to tell us, feel it through, and then share. But you can't just be spewing and expecting for people to receive it, because then you're creating an even more infraction.
Right. I just want to see if you really got an issue with me. Do you got an issue with me? Please.
That's a
We're
lot.
not doing Thanksgiving dinner. No.
Like I'm a servant. Like I'm her servant.
Into that though, really, we forget that we're put on this earth to serve each other. So
Matthew 18.
yes, if we really look at it, if you are, what are you serving? Okay, are you serving toxicity? Are you serving gentleness, love?
I'm about to say, come on, Galatians 5.
So getting into that, but also, I think when it comes down to it, to be able to have that self-control, like y'all are sharing, that requires us to sit down and in our own private time and getting to know ourselves, and first, right. Yeah. And if you're sitting here watching this video, obviously you've experienced some toxicity in your life at some point in time, or something that triggered you. Yeah, or you will. But if you have already, you already should know those triggers. Sit in your own private time and get into those triggers. Why am I triggered? Where does this come from? And then being real with yourself allows you to do better with being real with others.
Absolutely.
Hands-on.
And when I say earlier, space, yes, I know.
Okay, yes. We're going to get into it.
Because when I spoke about space earlier, that's the part of the space. When I say sometimes we have to give ourselves space from, we got to pull back. That self-care, right? So we've got to learn ourselves, because so many times we look at others and we can judge others and how they are in their actions. But if we never sit back and look at our own actions and see where we have grown, but see where we haven't, because there are places that you should be by now, emotionally, that you are not yet, and you have to be honest with yourself, and that takes time. That takes that private time, that self-care, that time to just get away from everybody and everything and say, pause. Let me do what did the Father have us do? That panoramic that happened, the pandemic, right? It was a time for reset, and everybody came out and was like, oh yeah, we're resetting. Do that for you emotionally.
That's self-care.
Self-care
ain't just face mask and hand stuff. That is too.
Do something in that heart.
I mean, I was thinking about Proverbs 4:23. How it flows the issues of life. So whatever you're allowing to fester, it's going to show.
Yeah.
Hands down. So okay. So we're gonna say the rest for part 2. All right. So part 2, we'll talk about those things. What Evan said we was gonna talk about. All right.
address the situation.
Yeah, yeah.
About, like, oh,
No.
talk about how to address these situations properly and healthily. We're going to talk about, how, steps that you can take to do that inner work so that you're able to address those situations properly and so on.
And share with expectations on when you share, because sometimes your expectations, you should just leave it open. Okay, I'm starting to tell part two. Expectations. Yes. Yes.
Our own experiences, we'd like to.
It's a conversation.
We honestly could delve into what it is that you've experienced,
Yeah.
and dissect it for your sake too. So
Yes, to get you prepared, because we got three holidays coming up where you may run into some people.
Yeah.
Might run into your ex, might run into all of this. You might run into that uncle that can't keep his mouth closed. You might run into that person that violated you as a child. You might run into that person that really hurt your feeling. You had held them at a certain esteem, and they just pull you down. So you got three. Okay, we got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and probably Christmas Eve, but ain't New Year's. So we wanted to get this out to you to undergird you, to support you, and to get that information out there, so that you don't condemn yourself for having conditions on access to you, conditions on your love, and the enemy. Even that whole thing about forgive and forget. That's something that Okay. It's in the script. Okay. All right.
But here's the thing that we always say is we're all in this
Together. What? Hold on. Sing that part again for me. Sing that part again. Okay, I got it. 100 ton. Okay. Oh my.
Yeah.